I think there's a very practical answer to the challenge you put, and I think in some ways to start developing a more constructive note coming from here, and it's something that Judith evoked this morning. The most successful program, she suggested, was one where it was cooperation between two different directorates general. Mm-hmm. And I think that in the same way that, and there's actually a proposal which is floating around from Spiros Papas, who was formerly the Director General of Culture and Education, that why do we not set a target or even mandate a proportion of funding that the EU is putting into development specifically for cultural projects. And I think if something like that were to be pursued, there would very quickly be a dialogue developing between the development people and the culture people. And I would also think, this may be very pragmatic, too pragmatic, is that the kinds of questions that Abdul Karim has raised would be addressed more if there was a much more serious commitment of resources going in there, and where the policies and strategies being pursued, whether it is by the European Union or by member states about culture, were having to deliver on very many more policy objectives because of the amount of money that was involved. In other words, I mean, I don't know what the budget of Belgian development aid is to Africa, but I would think that 2.1 million euros was a very small proportion. And if it is like a cosmetic thing, which I would suspect, I mean, 2.1 million euros for 15 countries, I mean, I don't know if you're doing projects in all 15 countries. I mean, this is an approach. This is an approach to cultural strategy which is being rejected in lots of circumstances, that how can you achieve something when you have to spread your resources so thinly? So the practical thing was to raise the level of the debate would be to really compel that this serious engagement between the different agencies in the different countries by saying, if we're serious about this role, and if we're serious about addressing the challenges which Abdul Karim has so strongly set out, well then let's allocate the resources, financial and human, to do that. And so then we have a strategy like Judith was describing, where we can intervene at these three different levels, and we can develop the right relationships with the partners, and it doesn't become one person rowing and one person steering.